Hi, I'm Kelly Barner. Thank you for joining me for this week's Supplier Diversity Discussions video. Now, this is an important week in the course of my 10-week project. I've had the content roughly mapped out, and I wasn't sure when I was going to address the things that I'm touching upon this week. But now that I've gotten into the rhythm of the interviews, it was clear to me that this was the time. So here's what we've covered so far. In the first week, we really defined supplier diversity. There aren't just procurement and supply chain professionals engaging in this content. We have lots of other people, and so we did a little bit of groundwork around definitions. In the second week, we talked about frequently asked questions, and we provided answers to some of those gained through conversations. In the third week, we talked about the importance of supplier diversity programs and managers and procurement teams having a why for their supplier diversity program and being able to articulate that convincingly, as well as using it to keep them on track when they undoubtedly hit operational obstacles in the program. Last week, we looked at some of the challenges that arise when small suppliers are trying to work with very large companies. There are some natural troubles that arise there. But this week we're going to take on something really tough. Now, these ideas aren't necessarily new to me. This is content that I've heard many times from many different people. And what usually accompanies these thoughts is, oh, but we can't talk about that. And I appreciate why people feel that way. These are sensitive topics based on identity and very different opinions and experiences. But I also feel a sense of responsibility associated with this project. And so this week, I'm thinking of it in my mind and even talking about it publicly as the two not so secrets and the big worry. So I've already shared the two not so secrets, although I'll repeat them again here just in case you haven't encountered that content. I'm going to go through those very quickly, and then I'm going to talk about the most important thing I think we all need to be focused on right now, which is the big worry. So here are the two not so secrets. The vast majority of things going on around supplier diversity at the corporate side have failed to get beyond the box check stage. So what do I mean by box check? You have a program, it has objectives, you have goals you're trying to meet. How many diverse suppliers do you need to invite to each RFP? Or how many do you need to consider each time you're signing a new contract? You can simply check the box without actually contracting with, hiring from, or spending with those suppliers. And that creates a lot of trouble. We certainly have touched upon that a little bit. There's a cost to suppliers to participate in an RFP. And if we've only invited them to meet a quota, we're allowing them to invest scarce resources in an opportunity that they never really had a chance to win. So that's the one not so secret. The other not so secret is on the supplier side. Most of the successful certified diverse business owners that I have spoken with are absolute rock stars. And let me tell you, these people would have been successful regardless of different identity, different program, having a certification, not having a certification. Now, the ones that I spoke to all did happen to have diversity certifications, and they're very strategically leveraging that certification to create opportunities for them and their business and their team. But even without it, they would have succeeded. And so I think the other not so secret we have to talk about is that if suppliers put an over-reliance on a diversity certification, it is not going to deliver for them. You still have to run a good business. You still have to offer a unique value proposition or have some kind of competitive advantage. You still have to be good at selling your business and connecting with people to build relationships and a network that you can sell through. You can't just assume, okay, I've earned my certification. Now the calls are going to start pouring in. That is simply not the way it works. So those are the two things I hear over and over and over again that, in my experience, have truth to them, that clearly have truth in meaning based on the people that I have spoken to, and that very broadly are being dealt with, but that people aren't really comfortable talking about publicly. So here's the big worry. The big worry is that because we're allowing the two not so secrets to remain in effect, it's not going to take much to destroy both the progress we've made so far around supplier diversity and also to completely stop the movement in its tracks. So what exactly do I mean by that? Right, we're facing inflation right now. So bottom lines are a huge concern. The first minute it puts a company in jeopardy around having a solid bottom line in order to continue supporting supplier diversity, the program's done if it's just a box check, right? And the same ends up being true of some of the things that we're doing to look like we're really investing in diversity, but not actually. If we allow this condition to exist where people are pretending that it works when in fact it really isn't, it takes all of the legitimacy out of the movement. And we need to guard against that, right? We don't want corporate brands to be damaged. We don't want supplier diversity programs to be damaged because there's a lot of work to do. There's a lot of value in underrepresented communities. There's a lot of value in working with suppliers from different places and led by people with different backgrounds. So I think in addition to sharing those two not so secrets and the big worry, I think the other thing I need to encourage is be a part of the conversation. You can't lead change from a place of silence. We need to ask questions. We need to share. We need to advocate. We need to be active. If you find yourself in a situation where you truly are not allowed to ask legitimate questions or express concerns, you're in a situation that is not going to successfully increase the inclusivity of the supply chain anyway. So I know it's challenging. I'm trying to take this opportunity to sort of be the voice of all the people that I've spoken to, that I certainly gave them my word along the way that I wouldn't be sharing parts of interviews if they didn't agree with it being shared. But I'm hearing these things all the time. And I would be willing to guess that you've either thought these things many times or you've had them said to you as well. So let's stop pretending that these things aren't true, even though we know we are, and let's do something about them. I encourage you to join, comment on my posts, share the comment, make yourself be known. If you're really concerned, send me a direct message and let's talk. But we all have a role that we can play in making a difference. So thank you for taking a few minutes to watch this video. Please continue to engage in all of the content from my project. It'll be running through March 18th. And please be real change. Don't allow these problems to persist. Thank you so much.